We close tonight with the passing of one of those rare entertainers who genuinely merit the term legend. Johnny Cash died today in Nashville from complications of diabetes. He was 71.
He wasn't just a legend. He was chaos wrapped in black.
It's the death of a legend, our top story this half hour. Johnny Cash is gone. The country music world is saying goodbye to the legendary man in black. He died early this morning at a hospital in Nashville.
A rebel, a preacher, a man who walked the line between redemption and total destruction. But what fans didn't know is how far into the darkness Johnny Cash really went. It started early. At just 12 years old, Johnny's older brother Jack died in a horrific accident, and his father, broken by grief, turned to Johnny and said the unthinkable, "It should have been you." That guilt lived in Johnny forever. It haunted every note he sang, every mistake he made. It was the first of many emotional scars that would shape the man the world would one day idolize. Johnny grew up poor, working the fields in Dyess, Arkansas, surrounded by poverty, gospel hymns, and the sounds of suffering. He dreamed of escape, of fame, of being more than the boy who survived. But trauma doesn't disappear. It waits. And for Cash, it waited quietly behind the lyrics and the legend. When fame hit, it didn't save him. It wrecked him. Cash became hooked on pills and booze. He'd stay awake for days, hallucinating, trashing hotel rooms and crashing cars. Once, high out of his mind, he started a wildfire in California that burned 500 acres and killed 49 endangered condors. When officials questioned him, he snapped, "I don't give a damn about your yellow buzzards." He was fined $82,000, but it barely scratched the surface of the damage. He trashed stages. One night at the Grand Ole Opry, he smashed all the footlights with a microphone stand, stumbling across the stage in a drug-fueled haze. The Opry banned him, a rare punishment for a star of his caliber. But Johnny didn't care. He was untouchable, or so he thought. Then came the arrests. He got busted smuggling pills across the Mexican border, hiding them in his guitar case. His mugshot was splashed across newspapers nationwide. His first wife, Vivian, was at home with their 4 daughters, living in fear. He once flipped a tractor, nearly crushed himself, and set fire to their hillside, all while his kids watched. The family home became a prison of anxiety, where his children tiptoed around the ticking time bomb that was their father. And in the middle of it all, he was cheating. On tour, Johnny fell in love with June Carter. Their affair tore his family apart. Vivian found the receipts, the jewelry, the notes. But the worst came when a court photo of Johnny and Vivian sparked a dangerous rumor. Some claimed Vivian was black. The backlash was violent. The Ku Klux Klan sent threats. Concerts were canceled. Johnny had to publicly prove his wife's heritage to stop the madness. Vivian filed for divorce, and Johnny fell further. His spiral became a free fall. His health declined. His weight fluctuated. Friends distanced themselves. He became more isolated, more reckless. One night, he drove out to Nickajack Cave, a dark, winding cavern known to locals for its eerie depth. He brought a flashlight and enough pills to end his life. Deep inside, where not even light could follow, he collapsed and waited to die. But as the hours passed, something stirred. He later said he felt God, that something told him it wasn't his time. When he stumbled out near death, June and his mother were waiting. They'd come to save him. That moment changed everything. He cleaned up, married June, returned to the stage. The world saw a man reborn, but what they didn't see was how close he still stood to the edge. Johnny and June both battled addiction. Their son later admitted they were 2 junkies, fighting demons behind closed doors. They'd scream, threaten to leave, then turn around and renew their vows. One fight in Jamaica got so bad their son thought they were divorcing. Instead, they threw a wedding. June tried to keep Johnny grounded, but at times, she was drowning with him. There were brief moments of calm, times when Johnny found clarity. He started focusing on his faith, even releasing gospel albums. He visited prisons and spoke about second chances. But while he was preaching redemption to inmates, he was still battling his own, and the madness didn't stop. In one bizarre twist, Johnny was nearly killed by an ostrich he kept on his property. The bird attacked, slashed his stomach open. Only his belt buckle saved him. The pain led to more pills, more relapse. He fired his closest friend, his bassist of 25 years, accusing him of theft. That friend sued him. Johnny lost. And by the 80s, he lost his record deal too. Columbia dropped him. The man in black was broke, addicted, and all but forgotten. He tried to keep going. He appeared on cheesy variety shows, performed for dwindling crowds, and released novelty songs like The Chicken in Black, a bizarre track where his brain gets transplanted into a criminal's body. Fans were confused. Critics laughed. It was rock bottom in a career that once redefined American music. He even started pawning valuables, jewelry, guitars, just to pay staff salaries. Friends said Johnny never wanted to fire anyone, even when he was bankrupt. He kept giving, even when he had nothing left to give. Then came a miracle. Producer Rick Rubin found Johnny and offered him something no one else would: a second chance. No label, no flashy production. Just Johnny, a guitar, and his raw gravel voice. Cash recorded stripped-down songs that sounded like confessions. Raw, haunting, unforgettable. The album American Recordings was a revelation. A ghost singing truth. The critics who mocked him now bowed in awe. He sang with pain, but also with clarity. Covering songs by Soundgarden, Nick Lowe, and Nine Inch Nails. Songs decades younger than him, but reimagined through a lifetime of scars. His music was stripped of everything but soul. The comeback wasn't just a fluke. Rubin and Cash recorded 5 more albums together. The sessions were intimate. Just Johnny, telling stories he had carried for decades. He recorded songs while sick, while tired, while mourning. He knew the end was near, but he kept going. But the toll was visible. Decades of addiction and illness caught up. Johnny suffered from diabetes, nerve damage, and a degenerative disease that made walking painful. Still, he recorded. Still, he showed up. In 2003, after June died, Johnny recorded Hurt. In the video, he looks like a ghost, shaky, broken, singing, "Everyone I know goes away in the end." It felt like a final goodbye. The video cut between the vibrant man he once was and the fragile figure he had become. And weeks later, he was gone. But his story didn't end there. In the years after his death, new stories emerged. Accounts from family members, friends, and old bandmates painted a fuller picture. One not just of a musician, but of a man constantly at war with himself. The guilt from his brother's death, the failure of his first marriage, the burden of addiction, the defiance, the regret. Johnny Cash wasn't just a country star. He was a storm, a man torn between heaven and hell. His faith kept him alive. His demons tried to destroy him. And now, all these years later, the truth is finally coming to light. He walked the line, but no one said the line was straight. It curved, twisted, shattered. And still, he walked it. Through scandals, through heartbreak, through death and rebirth. And that's what makes his legacy unforgettable. Because Johnny Cash didn't hide his darkness. He turned it into music. He didn't pretend to be perfect. He let the world see his wounds. And in doing so, he gave millions permission to face their own. Fans are stunned. And the legend? It's darker and more human than anyone ever imagined.